From their antics on the set of Asking for It, marking the start of their troubles, to all the controversies apparently not affecting their career, here's everything about the disturbing life of Ezra Miller. The actor made their way into our hearts with great movies like The Perks of Being a Wallflower. But things soon took a very unexpected turn. Their series of weird behaviors shocked the entire world. And today, I'm gonna break it down for you. Starting with the first incident to make it to the news, Miller's weird on-set behavior in 2019. So apparently, many unnamed crew members on the sets of Asking for It witnessed Ezra displaying some super weird behaviors. Reports claim that they would often wear long robes, a cape, and a unicorn head, even when it was very hot outside. An extra named Kevin Armstrong came forward with some troubling news. He said that Miller constantly screamed, spat, and interrupted the director. But when the extra complained about this, he was told that it was method acting. Well, that's one excuse. Miller's erratic behavior on set made people feel very unsafe, and no one in the top management did anything to curb it. Maybe if they had stepped in, they could have caught on to Miller's pattern. But this was just the start. In 2020, Miller had an incident in an Airbnb in Iceland. The Flash actor moved to Iceland after shooting Fantastic Beasts: The Secrets of Dumbledore during the peak of COVID-19. They rented a house in a neighborhood in Iceland and had a lot of people come to stay with them. One of their guests had some big problems with their host. A woman told reporters that the house the actor had rented felt like a commune. She revealed that Miller's guests were smitten with him and hung on to their every word. They would have very heated debates about religion, where the actor claimed that they had magical powers. "I swear I'm not making this up." Jasper Youngbear, the group's spiritual leader and personal assistant, is said to have bragged about cutting off at least one finger during a sacrament. Some reporters got to talk to many people who had stayed at Miller's Airbnb, and they said that the actor had very bad mood swings and was mean to anyone who tried to leave. But that wasn't the only thing that went wrong with their trip. Miller was captured on video choking a woman outside a bar. In April 2020, a video of Ezra went viral outside a bar in Iceland. After the incident, neither Miller nor anyone who worked for them ever spoke out in public or accepted any interviews by the police. The woman didn't hold back, though. While talking about the incident, she said that at first they were just playing around, but then Ezra took it a little too far, choking her and screaming in her face. She reported the actor to the police, but didn't press charges. She should have, because Miller was on a rampage. They gave the good people at the hotel a really rough time. Ezra planned on working on their music in Iceland and would frequently have jam sessions with the artists in the area. One 18-year-old girl was invited to one of these sessions where she hooked up with the Fantastic Beasts actor. She spent 6 days with them and saw firsthand how their moods would change. They would go from being a sweet, caring person to calling her names and being violent around her. While this is horrific on its own, this was just the tip of the iceberg. Miller brought their problematic behavior back to the States and was arrested a bunch of times in Hawaii. Ezra was in the news a lot in March and April 2022 because they were arrested many times in the Aloha State. They were allegedly given a ticket in the middle of March for blocking a freeway. They also continued to block a sidewalk. The police were called, and the actor was taken into custody. After that, Miller was arrested once again for causing trouble while singing in a bar. The Hawaii Police Department confirmed that they got agitated when people started singing and just lashed out. They started swearing, and at one point they lost all control, snatching the microphone from a woman who was just singing karaoke, which led to a disorderly conduct charge, and then literally lunged at an old man who was playing darts nearby, which led to a harassment charge. Their bail was set at $500, and once it was paid, the cops had to let them go. Then, on the 29th of March, literally the next day, a couple filed a restraining order against them. The complaint claimed that the Flash actor forced himself into their home, threatened to seriously hurt and even kill them, and then he stole their passports and wallets. But the couple decided to drop the charges. If you thought that was it, think again. Miller was arrested again in April in Hawaii after they reportedly refused to leave a property, and the actor was accused of second-degree assault. According to the police complaint, Miller got angry when they were told to leave the premise and threw a chair, hitting a woman in the forehead and giving her a cut of about half an inch. That's a lot to take in, right? This isn't even the worst part. In May of 2022, the Flash star was accused of grooming a child. This incident involved an 18-year-old activist named Takata. She first met the actor when she was just 12 years old, while protesting with the environmental movement. Miller kept in touch with her and even flew her and her friends to London to see the set of Fantastic Beasts. According to insider reports, the much older actor would regularly give her drugs, such as LSD, and their relationship turned physical as soon as she turned 18. Her parents have been very concerned about their child, so much so that they filed a restraining order in the tribal court. According to the complaint, Ezra controls a young teen through violence, threats of violence, intimidation, fear, paranoia, delusions, and drugs. The parents claim that Miller had brainwashed their child and has forced her to cut all ties with them. They've tried to contact the actor's family, and Warner Brothers as well, to help rescue their kid, but nothing seems to be working. When this incident went public, 2 more victims came forward and told the worried parents that Miller used their celebrity position to lure young fans into distorted, abusive relationships. This opened up a can of worms for the actor, who should have learned their lesson but found himself in more trouble. They were arrested again in August 2022 in Vermont. This time, they were charged with burglary. Miller was accused of taking several bottles of alcohol from an empty house. This arrest finally put an end to the controversies. Apparently, it made them realize that they had a problem. In a statement to the press, Miller admitted to seeking professional help for their mental health problems. The actor finally addressed all the controversies in the middle of August 2022. They acknowledged that they had complex mental health issues and needed intense treatment. The Fantastic Beasts actor apologized to everyone they had upset and promised to commit to their health so that these kinds of things won't happen in the future. While that apology felt very underwhelming to a lot of people, especially the people who were directly affected by their behavior, it held over the people at Warner Brothers. They invited the actor to play the Flash once again, despite everything that happened. This entire thing put people off. I agree with them, since it seems like the only reason the actor decided to apologize and get therapy was to make sure that they wouldn't miss out on such a big role. Since then, Miller has been taking some responsibility for their actions. They appeared in court hearings for all the cases against them. On October 17th, Ezra pleaded not guilty in Vermont to the criminal burglary charges. They could have gotten 26 years in prison and a fine of over $2,000 if found guilty. But they were released on bail, on some conditions, like how they couldn't talk to the neighbor whose house they were accused of breaking into, and that they couldn't hang out with another Vermonter. After that, in January 2023, they took a plea deal to avoid jail time. After everything that they did, the actor avoided going to jail in the Vermont robbery case because they pleaded guilty to illegal trespassing. They were given a $500 fine as well as a whole year of probation. Miller also agreed to a bunch of rules as part of the deal, such as no drinking, going through random drug tests, and a promise to keep getting help for their mental health. Now that you know all of this, I'm sure there's one big question on your mind. How has this affected their career? Well, if I'm being honest, it hasn't had much of an effect at all. DC isn't as strict as Marvel, so they decided to bring the actor back to play the Flash once again. The CEO of Warner Brothers, David Zaslav, praised Miller's dedication to getting better and was instrumental in bringing them back for the big movie. So, from all the controversies not affecting their career, to their antics on the sets of Asking for It starting their troubles, here's everything on the disturbing life of Ezra Miller.